Hello everybody, in this video I'm going to be doing a brief stock analysis on AMD, Advanced Micro Devices, and this is really not going to be a deep dive into their financials or anything like that, but more so me giving my opinion on the stock and the overall industry. So here we take a look at the stock year to date. They were at about $46 at the beginning of the year, and they went all the way down to $37 just a few months ago. And I was actually expecting more pullback on this stock. I got a few shares at $41, but I was really hoping to buy more when the stock got even lower. A lot of the future growth for this company is already priced in, which is why I was expecting this stock to get even lower, but I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. But now the stock is already back up to $54 and was recently all the way up near $60 again. And if we look at the 5-year chart for this, we can see that just 5 years ago, this was, just around $2, and a year and a few months ago, it was just at about $25. So seeing some extremely strong growth with this stock. And right here, we can kind of see why for their revenue and earnings for the last 4 years. We can see a strong increase in both of them, with them not really seeing much profit or actually slightly negative earnings in 2017 and then being profitable in 2018. And you may actually think that this is a new company just reaching profitability, but this company's actually been around for a really long time, but they just got back in the game about 5 years ago, competing with some of the big guys like NVIDIA, Intel, Micron, and so on. And here we can see their revenue and earnings for the last 4 quarters, seeing strong increases in earnings. And the biggest thing that I'm going to be talking about in this video is that AMD's technology is going to be coming in the Xbox Series X. That's going to be coming out probably in November of this year. And I'm really not sure how much of their revenue and earnings is going into that because Xbox obviously has not started production, but I'm guessing they're still getting some money for R&D and other things like that from Microsoft. But just because of that deal alone, I expect them to vastly increase earnings for at least the next 4 quarters. And I've really been talking up AMD right now, but now I'm going to take a look at kind of a more negative view by an analyst at Morningstar on the overview of the research report. And Morningstar rating is 1 out of 5 stars with a fair value of $25, which is really crazy to me. Even at their lowest point at this year, which we saw just a couple of minutes ago, I think was at $37, and they're giving fair value of $25 to AMD. And maybe if you take a look at what the company is right now without any future outlook priced in, maybe $25 is a fair value, but AMD's technology being in the new Xbox is already a locked-in deal, so I think it's very fair for that to be priced in for the stock. So $25 for fair value is very low in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to buy the stock for $25, but I don't think they were really giving that a full view there. And then economic moat of none is kind of fair. Intel as well as NVIDIA are capable of making the technology, and the uncertainty is very high for longer term, I suppose. I don't think that the uncertainty is high for the next couple of years, but once that deal with the Xbox goes through, AMD could be in a lot of trouble with competition. And then stewardship is standard. I really don't know much about their top management or corporate governance. I know they got a new CEO a few years ago who was previously their chief operating officer, but other than that, really don't know too much about them. So now I wanted to take a look at a couple of points by the bulls and the bears by analysts at Morningstar. And I really don't have a ton to say here. AMD's recent CPU and GPU offerings have been more competitive with Intel and NVIDIA products, which is why Microsoft is going with NVIDIA, AMD over NVIDIA. And they're also looking to take a big chunk of Intel's market share in the CPU market, which would really be great for AMD if they could even just get a small slice of that, because Intel is really dominating right now. And now I'm going to take a look at a few points by the bears at Morningstar, and these 3 points are really kind of all saying the same thing to me, but I'll get to that in just a second. The first point says that Intel remains the dominant player in the processor market and holds long-term advantages over AMD in aspects ranging from R&D, research and development, and marketing, all the way down to pricing, because Intel is so much bigger of a company than AMD. And then the second point is that NVIDIA is far ahead of AMD in GPU technology and has been incredibly successful leveraging its GPUs into adjacent markets, such as AI, which to be honest, I really don't know much about. And then the last one is that AMD's lack of size may make it difficult to sustain any momentum against the big guys, such as Intel and NVIDIA. And all three of these points are basically saying to me that AMD may be really great in the short term and it's seen extremely great growth, but long term, they're not really going to be able to compete. And I think really AMD's best play here is to form a really great relationship with Microsoft and hopefully be able to sustain some of the superior technology. And if not, AMD is going to be in some serious trouble, and I'm sure their stock will be in great decline. Let me know down below if you have any questions or comments, and I do a ton of other brief stock analysis videos very similar to this one, so be sure to come and check those out and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching.